I like to start by saying it's a home away from home. In fact, I used to say that. So I won't go into like the original or the whole story, I should say, but it was technically, yes, it was gifted to us by these four incredible women. And that was just wild in itself, right? Because again, we weren't looking for that. That was never in our plans, and it was just handed to us, right? But that first year that they started it, I was holding mom circles there. And I would go often because, again, they were my friends. And so they'd have some events. And so I'd come, and I feel like I was there pretty often. And I would always say, I would joke and say, well, I didn't know it was a joke back then, but I would say it was like a home away from home. And now it's really funny because it is a home away from home. But I like to say that first because that's really, that's the biggest intention is I want somebody to walk in, and immediately when they walk in, their shoulders just drop. And they just know I'm coming in here for me. And I'm going to have this hour or two or however long, their class or workshop or whatever it is that they're coming to, is that it is just for them. And they get to close the door, and everything's going to be there waiting for them. It's not going anywhere, right? But here they get to just be, and they get to be present and just be with whatever it is that they want to be with. And with that said, it has evolved a little bit, but it's already been a year since we have transitioned to having our own team of practitioners and having weekly classes, because one of the biggest things that my mind just couldn't comprehend was, there's all these beautiful modalities like sound baths, Reiki, meditation, movement, breath work, all these things, right? And in my mind, I'm like, how in the world is any of this sustainable if it's costing so much for people to go to? And I never wanted it to be like this, I'm going to save up money for this once a month event. This is a practice. It's a practice. You have to be able to do it consistently. And so in my mind, I was like, because before we were renting it out all the time and there was no consistency. And so we'd have a few practitioners, and then, things would shift for them, and they'd be like, oh, we're not going to, be doing this anymore. And so like, it just would break my heart when somebody would call and say, hey, when's your next breathwork session? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't have an answer for that. And it broke my heart. So one of the biggest things was I needed to have a place that was consistent, that somebody can walk in and they knew like, man, this week has been rough. I just need to go and rest for an hour and just receive like a sound bath and just meditate or sleep or whatever I need to do,